Hi there everyone, Artie Tambarambaa, also known as Tammy Klinger, here with you today, sharing a funky art journal page using loads of Art by Marlene products. So I'll take you through what I used. So I've got the perfect size journal in the smooth option. I've also got the collage paper in the new collage paper in the colours. I've got the new stamp set with the stars. I've got the new Fabulous Women. I grabbed a few stencils. I think I didn't use this one, but I used the star one and that large circle one, which is an oldie but a bit of a fave of mine. So I'll grab a page out of the perfect size journal, just flick through to find one going the way I want it to go, whether I want it landscape or portrait. So I've got my sheet of paper, and then I grab the collage paper and flick through to find a page. Now there's a page, this page I just love in there, and I've been wanting to do something with it. Then I have selected paint colours that are kind of in the paper. So I've basically just let the paper guide me, and I have put all the colours I used in the comments so you can have a look at those as well. Plus, of course, I'm using the sticky glue. So I'll get started. So basically, you know, this is something I like to do a lot, is tear off a piece of Marlene's awesome paper and use it as my background and try and join it up to make a page. So this one goes through many layers before I'm happy with it. And I guess, you know, I could edit bits out, but I think it's important for you to see the whole process. And there are many times that you think, nah, this is not working, I want to give up. But by just painting over little sections of it, it helps you to sort of see it again. So I do that 2 or 3 times during this video. And so hopefully, you know, it'll make you think, like, if you're not loving it, it's just not finished. Just keep going, add some more layers. So basically all I've done is tear the paper, 2 sections of the paper, and adhere that to my page with gel medium. I have selected, there's a couple of girls that I think will work with this paper, so I've got them next to me to the side so I can kind of audition them every now and then. And basically I've just popped down the glow paint here. I think I might have mixed it with a little bit of envy. I think I mixed the 2 together, so envy and glow. And then I'm just using the large circle stencil and popping it down and wiping some of the paint off. And I used a bit of the Mermaid as well, and I just really love those large circles. And I guess, as you can see, there's some little purple circles in the paper, so I'm kind of, the circles go with that. And speaking of the purple paper, purple circles, I'm adding a bit of the beautiful royal colour and just copying some of those circles, just squiggling them straight out the tube, and then blending them a bit with my finger. So I've also added a bit of pink to the background, which is Ballet, just here and there. So now I've got the star stencil, and I've sort of decided to go with that girl, and I've thought, so I put it to the side of the paper, and I knew I wanted to use those star stamps. So I was thinking that I picked out a quote that said, "Go where the stars take you." And so I was thinking about her being trailed, you know, like a trail of stars behind her. So she's like spinning around and following the stars. So what I did was, with the stencil, I laid that down over my page, and then I started with sort of aqua in the center, aqua color, and then I moved out to pink and purple as I went, just sponging with one of the artist's sponges, just to bring out that sort of ombre color through the stars. And then I thought I hadn't used this stencil, but I have. So I'm using the Dotty stencil just to add in a few dots. And it was sort of at this point that I'm like, I've got too much going on. There's so much colour, so much happening. And just for me to sort of get my head back straight and work out what I'm going to do, I needed to blank some of that out. So I actually came in with some white gesso and just put white in 3 areas. And I'm just then starting again. So once that's dry, I come back in with that large circle stencil and add a bit more in. So you probably think, what did I do that step for? And sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I'm just playing and having fun, and I'm enjoying matching up sort of the circles, joining them back up and doing two tones and stuff like that. Every now and then I sort of look at it and think, whoa, and we'll come in again with a few more layers, which you will see. So now I've got my girl there, and I'm adding some more of this, some stars using the Stamp It stencil. So I've used like all the size of those stars. There's a small, a medium and a large in there. And just using some black archival ink, I am stamping them as though they're sort of coming from the back of her out and getting larger as they go out. So I've also grabbed a couple of Marlene's inks that were in the advent calendar. I'm pretty sure that was last year's advent calendar. So there's a pink and an aqua. And I just stamp a few of those, the same stamp in there with those. And it just gives, you know, some layers and some depth, and sort of, you won't see a lot of it at the end, but it's a hint. There might be a hint here and there. So there's also a stamp in the stamp set, the Stamp It stamp set, that's got sort of some squiggles and some tiny little black stars, and I popped that on the left hand side as though she's kind of standing on that, sort of like magic fairy dust that's turning into stars. And then I did stamp a few of the little random little hand-drawn little stars in amongst that cluster of stars as well. And so what I'm doing, as you see, I've added a little bit of yellow. I felt like it was a little bit too green in the background, so I've added a bit of yellow. And now I'm coming in with just doing a few odd stamps, stencils, using the sponge through that stencil again, just because I think I covered them all up and they disappeared, so I wanted to bring a few back in. Okay, so then I stand back and look at it, and yeah, still too busy. So I've come in with a bit more white gesso, and I know it's kind of hard to explain what I'm doing, but this is me lost in the page. Like, I love that about my art journaling, that it blocks everything out that's going on in my life, and I can just lose myself in a page. And sometimes the pages are quite therapeutic and match what's happening in my life, helping me to process some stuff. And sometimes it's just about me playing and having some fun with colour. And that's what pretty much today's is. So what I've done is, with the colours I have used in the background, I'm now doing a few of those little just mark makings with a small flat brush. And I really like this, the way this builds sort of some layers into the page. So yeah, it's a constant push and pull, pushing the colour back and then pulling it forward again, and really you just keep going until you get somewhere that you like. So now I'm just adding a little bit more paint back in, doing a little bit up around the edges, just to create a bit of a frame around the page. So I do that with a bit of pink. And then I feel like I removed all the purple. So what I'm doing here is putting a bit of the purple down where the circles already are, and then going over the top of them. And it just then gives some of those circles that appear a bit of pink, a bit of blue, a bit of purple in them. And that just makes them really, really interesting. And I have added a little bit of that punk, which is the neon purple that I absolutely adore, into a few little spots, particularly where there's pink and blue, and it just lifts it up. So then I've gone hunting for another stamp with stars, and I found a couple in a couple of her stamp sets, which I will leave in the comments, of course. And so I've just kind of randomly stamped them, and a couple of them were a bit bolder, so they just allowed a bit more oomph into that background. So now I need to ground her. I know I put that stamp there that kind of grounds her a little bit, but I just wanted to add a little bit more black. So I've just basically rubbed it on with my finger, and I do remove a little bit with that circle stencil, little dot stencil, just so it's not so, I guess it kind of blends it into the page a little bit more, makes it look like it belongs. And then I've added the quote, which is go where the stars take you. And I've added a little bit of personal journaling as well. Let them lead you, they know the way. And that's just a personal reflection of mine to do with my parents, who I'm particularly missing at the moment. And I always, you know, talk to them, look up at the night sky. So that, even though this page doesn't really show a night sky, that's what stars mean to me. So it's nice to add a little personal touch here and there. And now I just hand draw a few little stars around the place as well. And I think it's finally come together. One of those pages that I thought, I don't know if it's going to get there. Which is always interesting when you've pressed record. But anyway, as part of the process, part of the fun, and important for you to see that I don't always have a plan and things don't always go according to plan. So I have just highlighted the frame around the edges again, and then I'm adding a little tiny bit of funky, I think, which is a hot pink or an orange. I think it's the orangey pink that I add just into the background. That kind of goes with her shoes. It's sort of an orangey pinky red. And then I did show you a close-up, and what that did is put the camera out of focus, and I'm really sorry about that. But I basically just put a shadow around her just so she lifts forward off the page, and a few little white scribbles with my white pen. So I'll let you see the close-ups. I have actually done some white hand-drawn stars over some of the stamps as well. Just adding a little bit of white in makes it pop. So thanks everyone for sticking with me today, and I will be back soon with another page, and I hope the stars guide you. So thanks for joining me, and I'd love you to leave me a comment. Bye.